even visually, if they are linked somewhere that they can listen to the presentation. But of course, they are in the French-speaking area. It's difficult to switch to two different languages. No?
Yes,
At
but
least
now
in
we
all
are.
these countries, I was doing the Spanish interpreting. I mean, taking from Spanish and going into English, but all the proceedings were in English everywhere. So that's good.
I think that we now we are on recording, so I think it is relevant that if you, Ragnar, could, just open the meeting to tell what you want to get from this particular meeting.
Can you give me 2 minutes?
Pardon?
Okay.
2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Yes. What did Ragnar say?
That he will need 2 minutes to set up
Yeah,
this
okay.
connection or
So,
something or another.
okay. So then I might use the opportunity to take the general idea with those organizational meetings, uh, as from our invitation. So I will remember this with you. This meeting that we are doing now will be dedicated to keeping on making human peace science in the various African countries and other peace activities and projects like the Me Too revolution that runs against gender-based violence and more. Then, by then after the presentations, then the meeting we will have an open floor, hearing from you, the participants, about your experience so far in the Third World March, multiple activities for peace and nonviolence, as well as your uh, hopefully some dated plans of your future activities in the areas where you are placed. So now even more people want to join. So we can practice some small talk as we wait for Ragnar to come. Yes, it was very interesting because I've heard we had a meeting where you told me at Ragnar your trip to Asia, Antonio, and
Yes.
I think that was a very interesting your talk of your travel, the story of your travel, and also how, like I would put in as a request now, if to put the World March somehow in the context of wider spectrum of the situation in the world and for the future beyond the World March. That will finish in January,
Yes. We don't have much time with the World March. It's always something that is done more or less quick.
Yeah.
And it's expensive also because people participating in the core team, they have to pay for the tickets.
Yes.
And then it's not everybody can do it. But of course, in the region of these countries, because we went, if you don't have in front of you a map of Asia, um, we went to Bangladesh, that is in the eastern corner of India, and then we went to Nepal, that you have to go up an hour and a half by plane, and it's in the mountains in the base of the Himalayas. And then we went to Pakistan, that is also the other extreme of India, because India, when it got independent, was divided by the British, and they said one section should be for the Muslim religion and the rest for the Hindus. But as it happened, because India had been one territory for hundreds of years, even before the British, then to do those partitions of territory and divide like that as if it was a piece of cake created lots of trouble in the times of Gandhi. Gandhi didn't want to do that partition, but it was forced by the pressure of the Brits and Jinnah. Jinnah was, he wanted to have a country where he was the president, etc. Sometimes in all these things, in geopolitics, there are also personalities of individuals that affect things. Well, the fact is that it got divided in that way, and that caused at the time millions of people dead because they started to attack each other. They had the families start to leave territories where they have lived for generations, and the same thing happened to both sections. So, well, that is Pakistan, but for you to locate it is in the western corner of India and north. So very interesting countries. And these four countries that we visited, including Sri Lanka, they have a population of about 500 million people. That means 500 million to 550 million in all. So it's a very important human group. And Bangladesh has 250 million and Pakistan 250 million. Nepal has about 30 and Sri Lanka 20, in all 550. So it's a very important group of population, and they all come from from the British Raj, so a similar tradition, but they have different languages that have some similarities, but they are not exactly the same. I suppose that it happens something similar with some of the regions of Africa that you can more or less understand, or otherwise you have to use the base language that is English or French in the western part. But the thing is that we had a very detailed program for the visit, and with important activities that were seen in different places because they were covered by the media and they were covered by television, and also they took place in places such as some of the main universities in Bangladesh. We had a meeting where vice chancellors of all the main universities of the country were there, and lots of students and lots of public figures as well. So it was, you manage to concentrate lots of prominent people, and from there it disseminates. Because we want through the forum to develop lots of studies together with academia and the public and grassroots organizations to touch upon the most important issues of our time. For example, discrimination, gender violence, the Me Too, the type of things that you are doing, paying special attention in Kenya, because it seems to be a very urgent situation. But we have to talk also about poverty. We have to talk about the environment. We have to talk about violence in all its manifestations, etc. So topics that we want to discuss with the general public, because we don't want people to depend too much on the media, because the monopolies of information, the media, the official television, etc., they manipulate the stories in the way that they are interested, and they give versions of reality that are lies. Usually they are lies, and they confuse the people. And when you are confused, you don't know clearly in which direction you need to move. And so in that way, through lies that moves in different opposite directions, what happens is that people get immobilized and confused. We want to establish the dialogue to discuss all these general problems that affect us all with the public, with the general public, with the grassroots base, with all of you, because we are also coming from similar conditions and we know how it is. It's so important that people understand what is happening in the world in which they live and which is the most important and priority direction that they have to take, which is very, very interesting. That's a humanist project, empowering the people in general. And of course, overcoming violence. All these changes in society have to take place by themselves, by the will of the people. I had the chance to participate in a very interesting process to the outcome, because I lived in Sri Lanka many years and I knew how it was. It was a feudal political system, as in many other African countries, where the same group of families have been in charge of power for 70 something years since they became independent from the United Kingdom. And always they kept power with one pretext on another, the same political parties, the same families. But this time, because they have failed so badly, they had first a civil war that consumed 27 years and thousands of lives. And then they have messed the economy in such a way that the country came to a paralysis. Even the farmers who have been farming for hundreds of years, they couldn't import fertilizer that they needed for the paddy fields. And the result is that they had a huge, horrible harvest and people were starving. So at one point, people came out to the street and it was a sort of non-violent revolution everywhere, because they knew that if they reacted with violence, they would be massacred by the army and the same groups in power. And after all that period where they managed to have a coalition government, they had general elections, and the candidate of the left that was proposing non-violence and had an agenda that wanted to eliminate corruption in the country. And they want to really give the priority to the people and the fundamental needs. And for the first time in the history of Sri Lanka, they got a massive support from the public. The candidate became the president, and precisely 2 days ago, they had to elect the parliament. Because if you are the president, but the parliament is not supporting you, it's impossible to change anything. And they had an incredible support. 66% of the parliament is theirs. So now they can govern the party, the president, and all parliament in the same direction. So it's very auspicious for Sri Lanka because the way of thinking is very close to the humanists. And we had the chance in the visit there to visit the candidate to parliament for Colombo Central, that is friends of some of our friends, and we pay a visit to his uh, division, political division in a sector of Colombo. And he spared 15 minutes with us. There were lots of people who wanted to see him and discuss matters about the campaign. They had one more week to go. But it was very positive, and he won absolutely. We sent congratulations a couple of days back. They said that lots of humanists were very excited with that experiment of Sri Lanka, because it shows how talking to the people, the campaign was really stopping, if possible, in every single house of voters in the country and explain what they wanted to do and how they needed the support of the people to change things dramatically, eliminate corruption, and create a fair society for all. And people responded. And this is unprecedented, because it's not that they had their television or that they have the money for the campaign, but it was direct contact and dialogue. Amazing. So there is hope. Examples of that type, I suppose, they will start to be seen in other countries. And that is what I could say for now. Probably Ragnar is ready to connect, and we can continue with the meeting. Because if I get carried on with these political descriptions, I mean, it's entertaining, but we will miss our agenda.
Thank you very much, Antonio. This was very enlightening and
Yeah.
inspiring, actually, and to see how far up in the administrative sector in those countries we are moving with the world match, and because as we know, we need to. Well, we cannot do anything with those corrupt ones. They are corrupt and they will be corrupt. But to
Exactly.
reach to the people of power that come from the affinity for the masses of people, that is so incredible. And
Yeah, if you hold elections and the elections are fair and people can invigilate that they are fair, and is an acceptable democratic procedure if people's vote have to be respected and recognized, and they will have no way to hide it.
Yes, yes,
So that is the hope. If they want to play democracy, let's play it fairly, and then people will have the voice. But that
yes,
requires that people are very united, that
yes,
have a clear common view of what they do want and what they don't want.
yes, yes,
Until people can express themselves, the will in that way, and
yes,
can get rid of confusions in the minds, and can trust the politicians that they are going to vote into powers, things can change very quickly.
yeah, yes. And even in Iceland, I can say that's a very, very nice news in the sense that for the first time now we have a base, a political base, where we have a new socialist party that is working from the bottom up in a very democratic way. And we, the Humanist Party in Iceland, we are supporting them. And now the polls indicate that they seem to have a likelihood of four members in parliament, and this is something new, as a real turn to the left, as they say.
We hope so, no? We hope, because we see that there are political changes all over the world, that people are fed up with the present order, where some get very rich, very tiny minority, and then the large majority get deprived of fundamental things, where is the risk of an atomic confrontation, where they create artificially wars that they have no goals, clear goals, but it's because they want to send weapons, the military industrial establishment. Well, there are so many irregularities that it's important that people understands what is happening and wakes up to it, and then things will change. And we are for that type of change, non-violent change, putting this human being as a central value.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, think about it. Like because of the war, I was reading over the paper of the Third World March on the plane yesterday for the first time. Where they are talking about how they are using money for weapons, but not for human, and also this statement for the students to tell, okay, how do you call it, ethnic statement.
ethical statement. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, it is very. We will focus on that a little bit in Kenya when we come down. But think about now, because of the war in Ukraine, and also the war in Palestine, and at the meeting, all the government from all the countries come together. They're accepting to support so many billions and billions to Ukraine and to Israel. Okay, if the world would be like that, that they are putting all this money to support poor people, to build up the countries, to build up the future for people. It is, but when it comes to money, then they can have a lot of people. But can I interrupt now with a little bit about Kenya?
Yeah.
please, yes,
When
yes. Welcome.
okay, the thing is, this have changed. The plan have changed a little bit because of first it was because my friend in Namibia had this operation, so I had to support her, and now because I didn't have a passport valid for more than 6 months, they stopped me in Amsterdam and sent me back, and and now I got a new passport, so I will buy a flight on Monday. But they canceled the whole flight, both to Kenya and back. So I have to buy a new flight. So the thing is, I will be very low. I'm actually selling now to be able to have some money. So I will be very low on money, and we will have to reschedule a little bit of the plan. But I will have meeting tomorrow with the team and with the Uganda people, probably same time as now, where we go over how we can a little bit reschedule the uh, reschedule the plan there. But we will focus on this about the Me Too revolution to uh, have and to have many women. We have hopefully Tekla. I will meet them, Tekla and Esther, which is a MP woman, and this will just be the beginning. And we have a lot of stories we can share. So we will focus on this Me Too project. But since I come so late, I think I will not be able to go to Uganda until after the run in. I was thinking the run in Nairobi is on the 25th, and it's on the 28th um, in Kisumu. But I don't need to go to um, Tanzania, so I would go after 26th over to um, Uganda and try to spend there like something like 4 days. I think this is the uh, okay. We are still brainstorming what is the best, but I think this is the best
The plan
option
at the
at
moment.
the moment. But tomorrow I would have the Uganda people and the team, because also now if someone want to come, I will not be able to support anyone with transport or accommodation and things. But now it's really opportunity for you to show how serious you are about all this. So if you can find a way to take part, because it would be good if some of you could. Everybody is welcome to come to Nairobi about the run and about the Me Too. Also to Kisumu. Everybody is welcome, but have to find a way on their own how they will make it. Yeah, I think this is more or less what I want to uh, share with you at this moment. And now I think if someone wants to say something, yeah, that's good. But then I will excuse myself so I can go and get a little bit more money to be able to do this journey. So what
Okay.
are
Thank
you
you,
saying?
Ragnar.
Uh, and good luck in all that. No.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's very nice, Ragnar, and you are a very brave man to face your difficulties, because through the difficulties we go. There is no other way. It's
Yeah,
somewhere said.
we don't let anything stop us, but we do things a bit different this time, I guess.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Yeah, because
So,
occasions to meet we will have, and it's fantastic to see the core team of the march because it creates momentum and everybody is excited about that. But I am in the moment after, for example, personally. I have been in the core of all the agitation, 4 days per country, and we had very important events because lots of people were helping to organize.
yes,
But
yes, yes.
now you have to think, well, and with that momentum, what are we going to do? And all we can do is to organize people, discuss with people, teach people, do things together in a different scale, because what we are interested is in growing in numbers and influence, and the messages are so clear and resound very strongly with everyone because our experiences are so similar these days in the world in which we are living. And that is an asset, because if we build up those conditions, we always will have people around who will want to learn more, to understand more of what we are explaining, and gaining experience and organizing common actions. And that will change everything around. The world is changing very fast everywhere. So
Yes,
that's good.
yes. So maybe we can open more or less the floor for sharing of experiences that the people can tell about what they're doing and how they see their future days and weeks of the world mass. I want to conclude a little bit regarding this world situation with all the wars and all these the hegemony of the United States versus the global South and everything, that there is a light in the tunnel where we have this organization BRICS, where there is I recommend everywhere when you see some information about the BRIC countries and the development there, to watch it and to study that, because they are building a multipolar world with very big participation of countries in Asia and in Africa, and this is led by communist China, that has been able to, through the last 20 years, to almost totally eradicate, finish with poverty. And experts that are looking at this process say that there is nothing to say that doing things in the way this example of China, there are likelihood of, or the possibility of eradicating poverty in Africa in 40 years' time, which is really a great future, you know. So we have this situation where everything seems to be going to, you know, hell, and we have to fight for the very existence on the planet, but also we have this future, which surely the humanist effort, the humanist movement, our humanizing process, and the world mass is surely a part of. So I wanted to summarize in this way. But then again, I think we open the floor if someone wants to, you know, talk about their activities and their experiences in those topics.
How are you, Tracy?
I'm fine. How are you, Antonio?
I am good too, but I want to know about what is happening there. I have missed out the last 3 weeks or 4.
It's nice to know that you're back. We missed you.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, before I talk anything, I would like Anthony to say anything concerning Kisumu, and then I'll talk about Nairobi because we work together. So Anthony will say a little bit about Kisumu, or anybody from Kisumu that is working with Anthony, they can tell us a little bit of what they've done and how far they've gone with the gender-based violence run that we are organizing. But before that, I would like to tell Julius that I'm a member of BRICS, and I really support what you're saying. And it's just that we don't have leaders that, I don't know if they don't have brains or what, because you see, like BRICS, if we take a loan, they don't have any interest. They don't take any interest, and they are not interested in knowing what we are going to do with the money. It's not like other countries that they put a blockade in every country that if we give you this money, you have to do this, you have to become that, you have to give us your resources. So I think if we all know about BRICS and how they operate, then we are going to have a change. And
Yes,
just to
yes.
know, I also have a song about BRICS, and I'm a member. So I definitely understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah.
that's really great. And
You
I
are the
can,
leaders to come.
yeah.
Yourselves. I mean,
Yeah.
it's what we saw in some of these countries because 20 years ago they were in the 20s or 30s. Now they're in the 50s. Is a generation in power.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they had time to prepare and to understand the principles of humanism, and they become very influential. And that is fantastic.
Yes.
So be
That's
prepared
Yeah,
to take the
yeah, I
leadership
even
of
got a
Kenya.
chance to speak with the president of Venezuela because of my song that I had sung about Cuba, about
Mm.
Haiti, about Venezuela and the blockade and the sanction. He called me himself, and he
Really?
was really excited with what I'm trying to bring because the media gives a different story of
That's right.
yes.
from
Yes.
what
Yes.
is happening in the real ground. So
Yeah.
if you do your own research, you'll find that these countries they are not poor, but there are some things that are making them to be poor.
Yeah.
So it's good that you came up with that topic because it's a very, very, very educative topic, and it's a very good educative research. If
Yeah.
only people could research and find out and also want to learn.
Yes. Tracy, this is really, really good, and I will start to have information categorically about this development. And there are two instrumental videos. One is from Richard Wolff, a very prominent economist, and he is talking about the situation from what is happening in the States, in the US, because from US, really they have been the bad boy in the community of nations, and he is telling about what is what exactly in the world now. And then another video I will share on the platforms, two platforms, World Africa, World Match 3, and also on African Forum platform. And that is Ben Norton. He is a great, has a website, and he has done very recently absolutely a fantastic description or educating programs about what is BRICS and how many countries are now flocking in, and even the third one could be from Africa, because Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, he was recently in Russia, and he had the presidency of BRICS, and when he was leaving, and he had this fantastic speech, but now the BRICS is under the presidency of Putin, the president of Russia. So I think that we have in this meeting a little bit, put our projects in the context we need to enter.
Yeah.
We have to learn. We cannot do much about those things because really we have no influence or no voting. But it's encouraging to the countries are moving in a progressive direction. The geopolitical balance globally is changing. But
Yes,
we have to plan what we can do. What we can do concretely
of
is
course,
to
yeah,
share
yeah,
and teach the people that are next to us in the neighborhood, in where we live, and where they can listen to us, explain in simple terms, because if we become complicated, people cannot reach. And so it would be great to hear the voice of everyone. I mean, what are you planning? What do you think of what is happening and what is next?
yes, yes.
How many are we here? There are like 10.
Yes. So
There are,
maybe I wanted Obala to speak a little bit about Kisumu. Then I can speak about Nairobi.
Yeah.
okay, fine.
Okay, good evening all.
Hi, Anthony.
Antonio,
Welcome.
good to see you.
The two Anthonys, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to give a brief, something brief on what is happening. I think we had started well in Kisumu, and we had reached out to some of these places, like acquiring the venue, and then with the help of Rose and Dorothy, we managed to secure the information to the police. Now again, I think there was a stop somewhere whereby we experienced a hitch. The lead person who was doing was helping us, who is the director of gender in Kisumu. Her boss got a funeral, so there's a stop in it. But despite that, I've been moving around, and at least I have about 7 organizations that are willing to come and partner with us in this journey. So I think to me that one is a plus, and we are still looking. I'm still looking for more. I really wish to have about 10 to 15. I think it would be good. It would be a good start. Most of them have promised to support, and I'm still reaching out to them. But I had come to Nairobi for a few things, and we met with Tracy. Of course, also Tracy took me to some groups that are willing to come and participate in Kisumu, though they're participating in Nairobi. So it was a nice experience just sharing with them, getting to know their planning, the way of the planning, what they are doing, and the group that will be coming to Kisumu. So it gives me again an overview of how we will plan in Kisumu, bearing in mind that we are having visitors from Nairobi, so that we can incorporate them in what we are doing. I think I'll be going back to Kisumu tomorrow, but I'll also pass in Nakuru, where there's a group that wants to come and join during the event. So I'll also just again brief them on what is on, so that I also get to know if they'll be able to come and support the idea there. Then once I'm in Kisumu again, I'll reach out to the director of gender, the representative of the women rep, because they are very positive, and they're the ones who are going to help me again look at the stakeholders in Kisumu, so that again we'll be remaining with about a week. So once I get to them, we'll look for other stakeholders who can come and help us in what we are doing. There's a budget, but the budget that is given, it is not people giving money, but the people will just choose on what to support. So that one is a plus, because also I participated in some organization where the stakeholders also invited me. So by me sharing with them or being part of what they were doing, I think they'll also be able to support our journey. I'm looking at a situation whereby when you start this journey, we don't expect it to be so big as such, but at least we'll have made a mark for some of us to do what we can and see what can be done, so that years going forward, definitely we'll be having something to talk about. So me, I'm just grateful, and I'm very positive about all that is happening, and I'm ready for the challenge. So once I'm in Kisumu again, I'll go back and share with my friends and see what we can do to plan so that we have a better event in Kisumu on 28th. Thank you.
Great, very good report. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio. Anthony.
Anthony.
Opala, yeah, very good.
And, I was saying, Ragnar.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate you had to go back, but now I think you'll come to Kisumu. I thought I would see you.
Yeah, we are planning to come to Nairobi. We stay in Nairobi till 26th, and we go to Kisumu, and after that to Uganda. I think that will be the plan, because we don't have time to go to Uganda before the run, but after.
Okay.
But now, Tracy, can you tell us about what is happening in Nairobi?
Okay. In Nairobi, we are having 2 events that are happening this month. So I'll start with the first event. The first event is the one that we've been organizing, the Run Against Gender-Based Violence, which we are going to be doing it at the University of Nairobi. And we have a number of 5,000 people that will be joining.
Okay.
And today we had gone to see the venue. I went with some other people that are in the technical crew that are helping. So we were seeing the venue, we were putting the map where people will be running and marking the road. And also we were with the security guys that are going to be there on that day to see that things are moving well. So everything there is good, and we prayed there. People, our bishops prayed over the issue about the area and everything, and we are sure that it's going to be a nice place. The event is going to be nice. And then we also had a meeting where I called all the people and all the organizations that were interested to work with us. So we joined today, and for the first time we had the intersex group. They were coming into our meeting, and I was so glad because we are going to have pro bono lawyers that will come on that day. We are going to have nurses, we are going to have doctors, we are going to have free ambulance, and we are going to have people that are going to give free counseling. And also there are people that have come on board. They want to do some art, and people want also to be part of an exhibition. We have people who have testimonials, the gender-based violence people, victims, survivors. Sorry, I don't like calling them victims. Survivors. They are going to come and do a testimonial. Right now, we are doing a small clip about them, connecting them with the World March and gender-based violence for peace and non-violence. So we are making a little clip. We are going to be every week. We are going to be releasing them into our social media, and people are going to watch, and people are going to see what is happening on the ground. So far, everything is set, apart from we've not checked on the security and the permit. We are still, we were told to go and look for the permit 1 week before the run. So that means it's next week. We are going to take our permit, but everything is settled down on the ground. Although we have had a lot of challenges, when you're working like the way I'm working with a lot of people, and you don't have finances, people, even if you try to convince them and tell them that you don't have any finances, they think you are lying. They just think that you have a lot of money. It has brought issues. People have stepped down. Some have stayed with me all through, but at the end of the day, we've made it. So we
Good.
are happy. We are happy that at least we've made it, and we are going to have member of parliament. They are going to come. We are going to have 2 MPs. We are going to have our governor for Nairobi. He said he'll be coming, and if he's not going to come, he's going to send a representative, which is a plus. We are going to have Esther Passaris, who is the one that is representing gender-based violence department in Nairobi. She's very influential, and she has really been working on these issues. So it will be good to see her on the ground. And also we have other strong women that will be coming and will be talking about it. We also have people from Iceland that really want to come and share their story and talk about it. So it's going to be a big thing, not a small thing. So all I can say is I'm grateful for all of you for your support, especially for Ragnar, Antonio, Julius, and because I was quitting, really, I was quitting. When the men were fighting me because I was a woman, they didn't want me to run it, and I was feeling very bad because they were saying I've been given money. I don't know, I'm refusing to give money for t-shirts and all that thing. They were they were really they were really breaking my spirit, but you guys, you encouraged me, and through your encouragement, I said I can't back down. I have
Very
to
good. Fantastic.
finish
No?
what I've started. And I'm really grateful for everyone that supported me on this journey. My technical crew, Ragnar, Antonio, Julius, Alice, Karen, Edwina, by you, Rose and Dorothy, by you just coming to this meeting every time, you're also encouraging me. Uh, Joseph, Bishop Joseph, and all the people, thank you very much. We're only remaining with 1 week for the run. And
You are very brave. Very brave.
yeah,
Very impressive what you're saying.
yeah, I'm hoping that we are going to do our final touches, and I'm also praying that Ragnar will be around, because Ragnar always, when Ragnar is around, I always feel hyper. I want to
Empowered.
do a lot of things. Yeah, yeah, because we understand each other. We know how we do our things. So I
Yes.
feel hyper. So I'm praying
Good.
that.
I want to suggest something. Try that everything to be documented and with photographs, because then later on you have to narrate your story. And that will be very interesting for many other countries in the world, because they will see the position of leadership that you have taken with an effort, because it's an act of will what you are doing, because the environment is not facilitating, but how you can prevail, because that is will be very reaffirming for the gender and for many other women who will feel inspired, and also for people in other places. So and in the same token, we will get reports from the visit of the march into these 4 countries that I am telling, but reports prepared by the people who organize in each one of the countries. And in many of them, they are women like you, and that is the reason why they have worked in the end.
Thank, thank you, Antonio. Also, lastly, I would ask like Alice and people who are near Kisumu, like they can join Obala and do the run together. People who are in Kisumu, Kisi, near Kisumu, they can join with Obala and Rose and Dorothy, and they can help each other and they can bring their group there. Also, us will come and help you out. We are trying all we can to support the Kisumu groups, but we cannot do everything because that is your area. You know your area better than us. As we are just giving the input and we are trying to advise where we can, but you're the people who stay there. You're the people who know what eats you. So it's my prayer that you guys, you work together in harmony and solidarity. So
Thank you, Tracy. This is very good.
Very good, excellent.
Yeah, I know you are doing amazing thing. Okay, there is one thing I want to talk about now. I always wonder how, we have a big event and then what? Everything is finished, or what is? How will we continue? And that's why I saw that this Me Too connection is very important, because when we have the run, we will have a lot of people coming and standing up and paying notice to gender-based violence and all that. And we will go to the media and we will launch this Me Too project where we will encourage every woman and every person, every man that is facing gender-based violence to stand up and say Me Too. And they can form groups, WhatsApp groups where they come together, where they share their stories anonymous, so they can continue. Another team can come up to the media, talk about their stories. It can be a demonstration effect. That is so important that we use the opportunity there to show people the way forward, how they can continue this fight. It's not enough to have only one run. We have to continue and give people opportunity and a platform and a place where they can continue to work on against this gender-based violence. And probably we will have next year 50,000 people running in every town.
Yes, that was our second project. So Ragnar has already talked about it. So we are going to launch Me Too, and we have different stories, and many people are coming on board. They want to be part of it, which is going to be great also. So after the run, we'll continue with Me Too, which is going to take over the gender-based violence project, because in humanist we have so many things, so we cannot just say that we'll focus only on GBV. We have people dealing with environment, sports, politics. So we've got so many things, and we need also to consider them.
But I want to add something there. In Rafael de la Rubia in Mexico, he got a sort of thermometer of violence that has been developed by one of the universities in Mexico. And it's so brilliant that the government has disseminated all over the country. It's called the violence indicator. It's a thermometer that shows you, because if you ask somebody whether they are gender violent, and they said, no, me, how can you say that? But then when you start to examine the detail, there are lots of things. For example, when you start to spy on your partner and then see who she called, for example, or what sort of colors is she dressed, or what are the other names that she has on the phone. All the things are the beginning of a process of violence that can end terribly badly. And it's only when you study all these different behaviors very careful, these thermometers have very well described around 28 steps of increasing. In the end, the maximum is, you understand, when they is a femicide and they end up killing the partner. But we create that awareness and we teach people about these things, that will be extremely helpful as a step of support, like Ragnar and you were saying, what comes after that. Because we can organize small seminars where you teach how it is and how it works. And last night, precisely, I went into Google and I downloaded in different languages. It can be translated. It was at least in French, in Spanish, in English, and other languages. If you have that and you can put it in, eventually you can translate it into the most appropriate languages there in Kenya. So will be a very strong additional tool to give direction to the campaign of Me Too.
Thank you, Antonio.
Yeah, very good. This is. Is it possible to get it?
Yes,
so
I
we
can
can
send
have
it to you after the meeting,
Yeah,
and then you will
yeah,
decide what happens. Because what
yeah.
Rafael wants is for people to know this. This is not a mystery. So if it's 1 week after or 1 week earlier, doesn't matter. Yes, I will send it to you.
It will be good to have it when we go to the media to introduce about Me Too and to explain how
Exactly.
things are happening. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's good. Yeah.
To create awareness, to teach people what is happening and what will happen to her. And there is another one similar that doesn't concentrate in gender, but is only in violence in general. That means any male will be able to make very good use of it, or any female, because it's not gender oriented. But they are the manifestations, subtle manifestations of violence that, for example, when I start to raise my voice in talking to you, or when I start to reprehend, or when I start to do all these type of things that we don't notice, but they are immediately with a component of violence. And when you are the one in the receiving end, something happens with that in your own heart, and you will do it to a third person, and like that it spreads out in society, because we all contaminate one another. And so we need to be very aware. But the first step of awareness is to precisely tools like this one.
Ragnar,
Yeah, very good job. Yes,
Julius, kindly
Opala.
may I share something? I wanted to say, according to what we had talked with the director of gender through her boss, I think when the visitors come, there'll be need for them to go and visit the governor's office as a goodwill, so that it is known that they are within the county. So that is one of the things that we are thinking about. Then secondly, on 25th, the 16 days launching will be done. So I'll also be there so that we can be seen. And then that one will also be a goodwill so that other partners will also come in and join us during our event. I'll also want to invite them during our event on 28th. So I have to be there on 25th when we launch the 16 days. Tracy has said something, and I think I reiterate on that. It has not been easy because we are really working with minimal funds, but we've dedicated ourselves, we've devoted ourselves to see that what we are doing today is something that will replicate years to come. So we are laying a foundation on these programs in Nairobi and Kisumu, basically more in Kisumu and in Manyata, where there is a lot of violence and a lot of crime, a lot of gender-based violence, I'm saying so, and a lot of crime. So when we start this, and when the visitors come and all the others we share, this will be a yearly program within Manyata, and I think it will bring a great change within our community. So I'll be sharing with others for the interest of getting more partners to come in and work with us. We know we have little or no resources, but something has to be done for the betterment of our community.
Thank you, Anthony.
Great, Anthony.
Yeah, and I think that Alice raised a hand earlier in our program. So Alice, maybe you can put in some words here. Please be welcome.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you very much, Julius, and everybody who is in the call. I'm very happy to hear each and every person is really working hard to make sure that the community are having peace, and we are advocating for peace and non-violence among the communities. Tracy suggested that I should partner with Antonio because we are very near. Eldoret and Kisumu is very near, and that is a very good suggestion, Tracy. I second you and I support that. But right now we are having in every county, people have their activities. Like in Eldoret, we are planning for the 16 days of activism, and the process is really going on. Right now, we are looking for partners who are going to support. We found partners who is going to support for the banners, T-shirts, and tents. But we are still resource mobilizing for other things like decorations and also the band processions who are going to march and also help us in the band. Also, we have partners who are going to support us with water, drinking water, that is soda and scones. And also we found the ambulance that will be supporting during that time, and service providers for the nurses who will be also standing in for any first aid help. And also we have security, like the policemen will be involving policemen. We have 10 policemen who we have reached them with a letter letter of engagement to the activity. Right now, I feel like all the counties are having this campaign for the 16 days of activism, and I really don't know for Bala. the 28th, I think Uasin Gishu also Eldoret is participating in that, either 28th or 29th. I'll get back to Tracy and Anthony when I'll get the right dates when we'll be having that work for the 16 days of activism in Uasin Gishu. And the advocacy is about ending gender violence against women and girls, and against any person who will be having who is experiencing the gender-based violence. And also we'll be having the GBV survivors. We'll be having a session for the GBV survivors, and we've mobilized more than 20 survivors who will be giving us their lived testimony and story of their survival. And also we'll be having, we have our nominated MCA, who is also in the work, and we have the gender office that is also being led by one of our gender officer. So Uasin Gishu, we have two activities. We have these 16 days of activism, and then we have a march that will be national wide on 10th of December. And that is, we'll be having that march advocating and doing campaign against femicide. We've seen right now, like in Kenya, it's like every day a woman is found dead. Every day is somebody is being killed, and that is a woman, either a woman or a girl. And it is an alarming thing that is affecting our community, especially for the women and girls. And it is a red flag that we really need the government to even raise voices and take action to make sure that we curb this kind of a menace that is really killing women and girls. So I feel like I need to talk to Obala and Tracy so that we can plan, so that I be also part of the activities that Obala is doing. And also we can even cooperate, Obala can also come to us in Ngishu and even support. Yes, I think that is what I have. And the initiative that Tracy is having is very nice and very good. We need to come together as a team. You know, in Swahili there is a saying, umoja ni nguvu, that oneness is powerful. When we come together, I believe we are going to do something good and achieve the change that we want to bring to the community. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you very much, Alice. This was really a very inspiring and a strong summary. And I think now we have to watch a little bit the time, since we try to have those meetings and the videos not too long, because people tend to not watch very long videos. So maybe we can somehow wrap it up, unless we have a short messages. Like Kiteri, you wanted to talk, please.
Okay. Thank you so much, Julius. Just a brush up. You know, Madam Alice is my boss, and it is very bad manners for a junior staff to talk after the boss has said. But I wanted to air something. You know, I always love the way the Icelandic team operate and they do their things. You people are always having a common message, a common plan, and a common partnership. I wish that the Kenyan team can also replicate the same, because, for instance, you know, it was so sad for me to see Ragnar being deported back to Iceland, when, if he could have shared the message universally with the Kenyan team, there are people who would have made a call to the embassy and the JKI team, and he would have stayed in Kenya, because There are people who are well connected, but because we don't share the messages, we realize that he had to go back to Iceland. So I feel like if we merge our minds as the Kenyan teams and behave the way you people are behaving as our pioneers in Iceland, we're going to do a lot of great things. And as my boss has said, Washingishu County, we are more than prepared. We are ready. And in those small dimensions that our team in Kisumu and Nairobi are feeling a pinch, if they would have begun with us, they will have told us the concept note and everything, the process and everything. Let me tell you, Julius, everything will be flowing smoothly. But I believe that in the long run, we are going to partner together. We are going to put our minds together. Let's put everyone on board, because there is someone who could be having a resource that you are lacking. But because you're not communicating effectively, you're going to wait for Ragnar to come from Iceland to support you, and Alice may support you. So I feel like let's put everyone on board. Let's work together as the Kenyan team. Let's have one voice. If Tracy communicates, Eldoret is communicating, and Kisumu is communicating, so that we have a universal voice for progress. And I believe that God is going to bless us, and we are going to achieve a lot as humanist movement. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kiteri. Those were very
Very good
practical,
words.
very good practical points you were making there. Because united, we are looking for that kind of energy of unison of becoming united. So.
Can
I
I
want
can
to
I
add,
can I correct Kiteri a little
please,
bit?
Tracy,
Just
please.
Kiteri, Ragnar was not deported. Ragnar had an issue with the
Passport.
passport, and they had to take him back because the laws of Kenya says if your passport is remaining 6 months to expiry, you cannot enter Kenya. And it's not that we didn't call people. We called the immigration, and the immigration called where Ragnar was, and it was the same issue. They said that he had to go and renew his passport. That was the only way they could have helped. They even told Ragnar to go to the nearest
Consulate.
country, which was, I think, Netherlands or something. But
it was,
because
it
Ragnar
was
saw that it was
Belgium,
good,
Brussels.
Belgium.
It was
Yeah.
Belgium, Brussels, but
Yes. So when we brainstormed, Ragnar said, "Let me go back home. I can have the passport within a day. Then we can start from afresh." And so many people were really working out. People were praying. People were really involved with Ragnar's issue. So it's not like Ragnar was alone and nobody was being concerned. People were concerned. But we had to do the right thing so that he will not have the same problem again. You know, Kenya, even if they could have allowed him to come, when he was maybe getting out of the country, they would have started some issues again. So it's better he just follows the right procedure and have peace of mind when he's in the country.
Yeah, they are applying
yes,
it all over the world, Tracy. I had the same problem before traveling, and after checking the conditions for visa, I thought to myself, better not to take risk, and I had to renew my passport. I would have had problems everywhere, the same as Ragnar. The rule of 6 months of validity before you can enter a country applies now all over the world. No
but
escape.
now I have a passport that is expiring after 10 years, so we will not have this problem. But
Me too.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
My
me
passport will
too.
continue living, and I will go somewhere else.
But
And
I
also
was
it's good
thinking,
to learn. It's good to learn. Through these mistakes, we learn. So I know that if my passport is around, it's about 7 to 8 months, I just have to renew before it
Exactly.
reaches
All
6
of you,
months.
because you will start to move around, I perceive, in the months to come, and so it's
Yeah,
a good thing. Yeah.
but
yes, yes.
I want to add a little bit, like Kiteri was saying, actually, and also when Antonio was talking about that in many countries, and like in Iceland, we have people who have been for decades, many years in the humanist movement. But it is like in Kenya now, it is actually a very new process. We are starting there. There is so many new people that are coming in, and but think about it. When after 1-2 years, when we are more established, we have been through some difficulties. Think about it. What we will be capable to do there if we work together as strong. And let's use this opportunity to unite all of us and like one person and focus on this Me Too issue and gender-based violence run and try to connect as many groups from different provinces. Like you were saying, Alice, you say in every county there is a group that is working on this. We have to. We should try to continue with the Me Too and the afterwards. Then we have a group where we connect all these unions and have meetings that continue with this program. I'm really looking forward to come there, but we think we have to start now. We are almost 1.5 hour meeting.
Yes, yes. So I think that I will make this message from Ragnar like the closing word of the meeting. And for me, it's like this, that the various events we are promoting now, we can look at it like sparks. Those are sparks. And those sparks will ignite great fires that will go all over Africa, all over the world. So now I greet you all, peace, force, and joy, and thank you for a wonderful meeting.
And good luck
Peace,
in everything
force,
to
and
come.
joy.
Yes, yeah,
Peace, force,
You
and joy
too.
to you. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I will manage closing now. I can manage recording. Yeah. Stop recording.